Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome again to another episode of the J Talk Morning Show. Fantastic to have you on this Monday morning of the 11th of March. 11th of March, I started to say May. We're not there yet, but the 11th of March. And did you remember to turn your time back, no, forward? Did you remember to move forward on the time? Because it is that time. It is that time that the time moved forward. We had to spring forward. So I get up this morning and I go out the usual times. I usually go out in the morning, and help load my wife's car with the stuff that she takes with her work, a great big briefcase, and see her off. And it was still dark this time. It was still dark. And it's like, well, that's different. But it is what it is. You know what? I love this time of the morning, actually, because then it gives me a chance to actually see the sun rise, enjoy my Java. Speaking of my Java in the morning, and watch the sunrise from my deck. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So it's great to be with you this morning, this Monday morning. Had a great time yesterday. We were taking care of some business and preparing for the upcoming event next weekend, where I will be competing in the Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist Contest competition down in Branson, Missouri. So getting things ready, getting some more outfits, just rehearsing, looking at everything, looking at the songs, looking at the music I'll be doing, the moves, studying the moves to be as authentic as possible. And had a great time doing that. Of course, it's work, folks. It is work. You don't just hop up there and sing. Yeah, there's a lot of work goes into it. And if you've been in the entertainment industry and you are a performer, you know the work that goes behind it. Now, if you're pretending to be somebody else, you also know all the hours of the getting the right fit for the right costumes, for the right makeup, the right wig. The hair's got to be right. The rehearsals, the moves, the behaviors, all those things take time. And so I've been working hard for that, so that this weekend coming up for the competition, not only am I focused on winning, I'm also focused on putting on a good show for the audience. So that's and honoring, of course, Elvis Presley in that process. So, but good morning to you. We're not here to talk about Elvis. We're not here to talk about what I do to get ready. We're not talking. Hey, you know what? We're not even here to talk about makeup, okay, and wigs and things like that. That's not what we're here for. Maybe we'll do that some other time. Somebody suggested that I had a Elvis talk morning show, something like that. I thought, well, that's not a bad idea, but my plate's pretty full right now, so I think I'll just stick with what I'm doing. All right. So an inspirational quote this morning that one of my daughters, who is doing a lot to make a difference in people's lives as well as her own, and she has had many challenges and struggles through her life, and she has not only has she overcome many of them, she is continuing to overcome them because sometimes there's things in our lives that we are always fighting, we're always battling, we're always making sure that we're aware and constantly aware of anything that could cause problems or troubles or uninvited guests into our lives or whatever. So we got to be intentional about that. And she's being very intentional, and so I'm so proud of her. But this morning she said something. She posted, said, "Good morning. Make an impact on someone's life today, even if it's your very own." Even if it's your very own. And that was so inspirational to me. And I really appreciate that. I appreciate that. It speaks a lot that many times we have to focus on our own lives before we can make a impact in somebody else's life. And I also know this, making an impact on somebody else's life will always, always give you a great return. You will always feel better about yourself. You'll always know that you are a person of importance and significance and that you matter when you are helping other people know that they matter, that they are important, that they are significant. And so that's part of the process of growing as well, is what are you doing for others? I talk a lot about personal growth. What are you ingesting? What are you ingesting? Well, what are you not only ingesting, but what are you giving out? What are you putting out? to the world. That in itself is going to help you become a better version of you. And when you're a better version of you, you show up in the world and the world becomes a better version. And so, very proud of this young lady, what she's doing and making a difference in the lives of other people around her. So proud of her. This morning we're talking about you can make a difference. As a leader, and remember, folks, personal leadership as well as positional leadership. Okay, leading yourself and leading others. Okay, but you can not only you can. I could have put you should make a difference in the lives of other people. You can make a difference. One of the questions we ask ourselves as we're going through life is, am I making a difference? And then the question we ask ourselves towards the end of our life, as we get older in years, we reflect and we say, did I make a difference? Well, when you are making a difference today, then at the end, whether it's the end of the evening or towards the end of your life, you'll be able to reflect and say, yes, I did. I did do something today that mattered. I did do something that made a difference today. I helped someone to understand and realize that they are important, they are valued, they are significant, that they matter. And we all need that. I need it. I'll admit, I need it sometimes, and Katrina, she is the best at giving me that daily throughout the days, and it's not that I'm needing that in such a way that I'm like, "Hey, I need some positive vibes here, okay?" It's not that. It's that, we all have moments where we get discouraged, we all have moments where we have stress, and stress is good. Discouragement is good because what happens is it causes us to be aware that something needs to change. That's what pain does. Pain alerts you. Pain alerts you that there's something wrong. Something needs to be checked out. It gives you that awareness. And so when you have that pain of awareness, that maybe you're having a bad day, maybe your day's starting off wrong, maybe you need to go and do something about that. Maybe you need to talk to somebody, maybe you need to read something or do something, because the way you start your day many times is the way you're going to end your day, and you get to change that. It's about attitude. And so how you approach people, how you approach life, how you approach others, when they need you and they need that extra boost, it can make a big difference. And like I say again, you are the greater recipient on that as well, on that return of your investment in the lives of other people. Now, I just got my book from Ed Milet yesterday, day before, a couple of days ago. and I love the book. And I talked about it the other day, The Power of One More, and this is the book. So if you don't have it, like I told you, I had the audio version, but I didn't have the hardcover. And so I ordered it and got it a couple of days ago, and excited about it because I know the value of what this has to offer to me and so many others. I learn from these folks. I learn from these guys, and these are my mentors. And I open the books and I listen and I study and I apply it, and then I'm able to share with others what I've learned in ways that maybe you'll understand that, and how to apply it to your life and how to be that influencer for the lives of other people based upon what you hear today. I mean, let's face it, we are a culmination of all of our experiences, our education, our environment, our exposures. We're all a culmination. We're a big cake, if you will, of all of our experiences, exposures, environment, and education. What are we ingesting? What are we allowing to influence us? Those are the things that help us to become who we are. And then we show up in the world like that, and we get to be that part, that ingredient, if you will, in somebody else's cake as they're building their cake. They're making and baking their cake. You're part of that influence. You're an ingredient. Well, Ed Milet is one of the ingredients in my cake. I took the wisdom of Ed, the way he articulates. I've followed him for a few years now. I've learned from him. I've seen him have interviews with one of my other mentors, John Maxwell. and the conversations they have between each other is just phenomenal. It just compounds and expands. And that's the beauty of great minds coming together, is they create a greater mind, and we call that a mastermind. And those are sometimes the workshops that we do are called masterminds, because what's happening is you're not only learning and listening and learning, you're also leading, and you're part of the conversation, part of the discussion, part of the topic. um, it's not like you sitting in a classroom and you're only taking in information from the one individual standing at the chalkboard, okay, or the whiteboard, okay, or the digital screens we have in schools now, and they're just putting information out and you're receiving it. But there's no interaction really, except if you have a question of confusion, then they have to explain that to you, right? Break it down so you can understand it. But in a mastermind, somebody facilitates and everybody collaborates. Somebody facilitates, everybody collaborates. And there's interaction back and forth. So somebody facilitates it, leads the mastermind, gets the discussion going, and it sparks the experiences that others have and their perspectives on what they're learning, and then we grow and learn together. Think of it. Okay, prime example, NASA. I'm wearing. Let me back this up a little bit. I'm wearing my NASA hoodie. I'm also wearing my NASA ball cap. NASA. Can you imagine if only one person decided to create a rocket and then just went about it themselves? We never would have had a space shuttle. We never would have had the Hubble telescope. We never would have had the space station. If only one person involved. No, it's a culmination, a collection of great minds coming together to solve problems. And then they take action and they put it into action, they implement. Well, that's what I have with the mentors in my life. That's what you have with the mentors in your life. This talk right here, this talk in some way, somehow, sometime, maybe not this talk, maybe one of the previous ones, maybe one of the future ones, maybe several of them, are part of the ingredients to your cake. If you're listening and watching, you're hoping to grow, right? That's part of the purpose of this. You're hoping to grow, have that sense of awareness, even if it's just one thing out of a 10, 20, 30-minute podcast. But it's one thing. Well, that's the ingredient. And so Jay Goff is an ingredient in your cake, okay? But know this, that the ingredient I bring, the elements, the education, the experiences, these things, these are all part of the ingredients that I received from people like Ed Mylett. I keep that open because I want to talk about something on that. 4 books on my desk. Ed Mylett's definitely one of them. I'll be looking at the edge there every day in front of me. Jamie Kern Lima's Worthy. John Maxwell's The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. These are 3 ingredients. But the ingredient to top them all, the one that really spices things up, it's right here, the Bible. And I have it open actually to John 15. So we can all do something to make a difference in people's lives, and you're an ingredient in their life. So one of the things, the title of this is You Can Make a Difference. You can make a difference. And from the good book, John 15, verse 13, it says, okay, it says that greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Okay, depending on the interpretation that you're reading, the translation, it may say something different, but John 3:16, or not John 3:16, John 15:13. 3:16 is a great verse too. Go and read it if you haven't. It says, love each other in the same. He says, this is my commandment. Love each other in the same way I have loved you. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you slaves because a master does not confide in his slaves. A master rules and dictates, and this is part of a leadership. So when we're talking about giving one's life, we're not only talking about figure or literally where you will die. That's kind of like in the military. We didn't die. Our men and women did not die for their country. I don't care what anybody tells you. They didn't die for the country. They died for the person next to them. They fought and fought and died for their buddies. They fought and died for their families back home. They want to get back. So it's not that literal sense only. It also means when you give up one's life, you're also sacrificing your time, you're sacrificing your resources. Okay. You're giving of your time, your energy, and your resources. When you stop and say, someone needs me, someone needs my help, this is a great love that you share and you show with others. When you give them your time, that shows love. That shows I care about you. That shows I'm invested in you and I want you to grow. I want you to become better. How can I help? You can make a difference. So in Ed's book, and I'm going to take a few moments here. I'm going to read some of it because this is one of the 19 leadership principles that Ed puts in his book. And principle number 4 says, love, believe in, care, and show people how to live better. Showing people how to live better is not pointing, say, you need to do this, this, and this. That's not showing. That's telling. Okay. Showing is a visual representation, which means you got to be living it out yourself. Let them see a better life in you so that they too want to have a better life, and then invest in them and help them get to that point. So this is what Ed Mylett says in his book. Okay. So I'm going to read to you in Morgan Freeman voice. No, he says, I learned many of the leadership principles that I use today from a bunch of 8 to 10-year-old boys. Shortly after college, I was blessed with the opportunity to work at McKinley Home for Boys as a youth counselor. Little did I know that when I first walked into cottage number 8, my entire world would change. At that time, McKinley was a group home for orphaned and molested boys with parents who were incarcerated and had no other adult who could take care of them for various reasons. From my first day, I found myself in a position where all those boys wanted from me was to love them, believe in them, care about them, and show them how to live better. And frankly, I didn't feel qualified to do it at the time. Okay? That's a point I want to make. You may not feel qualified to invest in the life of somebody else. You're more than qualified. You may not feel resourced to invest in the life of somebody else. You're more than resourced. You may not feel that you have the capabilities nor abilities to do so. You are more than resourced. You are more than capable and able. The question is, are you willing? Are you willing? And then take action. You see, many people are able, but they're not willing. Many people are willing, but they're not able. And those are the inspirational stories. How many times have you read a story or saw a story where somebody was physically handicapped? They're in a wheelchair. But they had the willpower to get out on a basketball court and play, or to get into a marathon and roll, okay? Or to help somebody else across the street, or help somebody else with a need they had. How many times have you seen that? A lot. And you're inspired. That's the showing part. They are showing you how to live better. We're all qualified. All of us are qualified. All of us are resourced to do more than we're doing. to do far more than what we're doing. The question is, are you willing to do far more than what you're doing? Are you willing to do just one thing, a step forward, one more act of kindness? Are you willing to do that? I know so many people have so many abilities, so much ability, so many, so much education, so many experiences, but they're not willing to use those in a way that could benefit other people. You know, if you're hoarding your gifts, you're not serving anybody. And the gifts, in my belief, gifts are given to us to share with others, not for our own. I don't believe that God gave us gifts that we could just hoard those gifts and not share them with others. That's a belief I've held on to for a long time. That's a belief, quite honestly, that changed my life when I realized, hey, I have skill sets, I have abilities, I have talents, I have gifts that I can share. I enjoy the sharing more than the holding it onto it. You know, when I'm doing these talks and I'm sharing with you my perspectives, my experiences, it does nobody any good if I just keep all that to myself. When I'm entertaining, I'm on the stage and I do the work to make sure it's a great show for people. I'm given a gift of that I can share with others. It's not just for me. I have a great time, but it's a lot of work. It's and it's work I love. But when I give that to others, I share that with others, they're having a great time. They get to escape reality for a little bit and just enjoy the show. That's it. I've added value to them in a way that they can leave there feeling inspired, entertained, feel better about their day, maybe about their life. You know, what is it that you have that you could be sharing with others that will actually make a difference in their lives? Okay. Some of us have the gift of gab. Can you use that effectively? Not overuse it. So, what are the things that you could do? So, he went on to say, just like me, many of you probably don't feel qualified right now to be a leader. When you feel this way, draw upon this thought I often reference: God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. At McKinley, I didn't feel qualified, but I did understand that I was being called. I was called to be there. And since that time, one of the secrets to life I've learned is that every person of every age wants the same things as those boys. Okay? Listen up. If you're a senior executive, when a 35-year-old executive walks into your office, the main thing he or she wants from you as a leader is to love, care, believe, and show him or her how to live better, and that you care about them. We want to know that we matter. If you're going to be a great leader, your success is directly connected to these things. When you can incorporate them, and when I say leader, I mean influencer. You don't have to be in a position of leadership, okay? So don't get confused. When I talk about leadership, it applies to people in positions, but also applies to people who are influencers for others, peer leadership, okay? Your success is directly connected to these things. When you can incorporate them, you'll get people to do what they otherwise would not do without your presence. So often we miss opportunities to make a difference this way. My time at McKinley taught me that you can make a difference as a leader, influencer, anytime and anywhere. Even the smallest acts of encouragement and kindness can make a huge difference in the lives of people around you. This is the ultimate definition of leadership. Ed Milet, get the book. It's a great book. You'll learn a lot. So what are you going to do to make a difference in the life of somebody else today? What are you going to do what are some of the needs that you have to make you feel better about your life? What are the needs that you have that's going to make you feel that you matter, that you're significant, that you're important, that you're valued? What are the needs? If you're not getting it from your environment, your circles, change your circles. Change them. You have the power to do that. Nobody is shackled to the environment we live in. We can all make changes in some way, somehow, sometime. It might take time. but you can do it. It's going to take some hard decisions, but you can do it. Matter of fact, you should do it. So that later you're not looking back and saying, I woulda, coulda, shoulda. And if you're struggling with something now, find somebody who is also struggling in that and encourage them. If you have the gift of encouragement, encourage them, support them. That's going to help you. If you are a person who needs these things, find somebody and ask them if they could invest in you. That's the problem that many have. We have needs, but we're afraid to ask. We have needs, but we're afraid to ask. We have gaps in our lives that need to be filled, but we're afraid to ask somebody that we know could probably fill that gap. We have gap fillers that we know is going to be able to help somebody has that gap. We're just waiting for somebody to ask. Somebody to ask us. So you have a need and they have what you need, then you need to ask. And I can promise you this, you're going to get yeses more than you'll ever get no's in that, because people are designed to help each other. Okay, my friends? So real quick, let's head up to the comment section. Good morning, Catherine. Good morning, John. Great. Good to see you guys this morning. Have to get mine on that desk. Yes, your books. Absolutely. Get your books. I don't know which one you're talking about, but the one we're talking about today is this one. Get it. Got it? Good. Get it? Got it? Good. One of my former mentors, Ed DaCosta, used to be one of his favorite lines. Get it? Got it? Good. You move on. God rest his soul. He passed away. He left us last year, and a beautiful man. So that's what I got for you today, my friends. Let's see. Let's do this. I don't think I would put the title up on. No, I did not. There you go. You can make a difference. All right. And then get the little ticker on the bottom. Bada bing, bada boom. If I can be of support service to you whatsoever, right there, scrolling. See, this way. This is backwards, so it's hard for me to do that. All right, so JKG Consultants, j@jkgconsultants.com. Text or leave a voicemail at 417-298-6419. And let's connect. If you're interested in any of the workbooks, any of the workshops, a book study on any of these, then definitely reach out to me. I have a lot of different workshops that I am certified and qualified and resourced to give and share. So we could talk about that. Whatever your greatest gap is right now, chances are Coach Jay might be able to fill that gap. So reach out to me. And if you're looking for collaboration on a project or something like that, you might consider me. Maybe I might consider working with you. It depends on what's going on, and it depends on the project too. I've had some people that wanted me to partner with them on a project, and I just didn't feel that I could really contribute and serve in that capacity that they needed me, or I didn't feel comfortable with the project. Sometimes that's the case too. Nothing, weird, but just sometimes I just don't. But anyway, if you have something going on, you need a partner in that, you let me know. If you got a podcast, need a guest, let me know. Anyway, so throwing that out there. So you can make a difference. Okay, my friends, God bless each and every single one of you. Hope to see you next time tomorrow morning on the J Talk Morning Show, where we will talk more on how you can develop yourself in your personal life, your professional endeavors, and become a better version of you so you can help the world become a better version of itself. All right. Until then, my friends, God bless you. Get up, get out, and let's get at it, because the world needs what you've got to give. All right. Bye-bye.